My name's Les, welcome back to the channel. I'm only doing this little very short video because my bike's in for service, my XR, and it's just almost up to 30,000 miles now in 3 years. It's having a bit of service work done, so the guys at Stratstone Bmw down in Tunbridge Wells have said, oh well, you can have a spin on the new R1300RS for a little while. And I've got to say, it's a nice bit of kit. If you want to hear more about it, stay tuned, be back in a second. Just going to get around this horrible roundabout. Apologies for any comms problems or if you can't hear me very well, but this is a bit of a rush job. I wasn't going to be doing anything like this. I was just going to get my bike serviced and go home again. I didn't know I was going to be having a go on this. Okay, so if you want all the facts and figures, stats, how long things are, how heavy they are, all that sort of malarkey, then have a look on Google. I ain't got time to go into all that waffle. I want to tell you what it feels like to ride. Now, it feels very traditional boxer. I say that because the engine is quite a dominant thing on these bikes. Off the throttle, it steers really nicely. It feels very light, although it's not light. And you get that definite drop every time you go down the gearbox. Off the throttle, it loads the front. You can sling it into the corners. It picks up again. So you get that sort of sit up and down, on the throttle, off the throttle. And I quite like that shaft drive and everything, because it, off the throttle particularly, it allows you to plant the front in the corners, which I think is great. And then that lovely smooth drive on the way out. It's got loads of smooth drive as well. 100 and God knows whatever it is. Although this does feel very, very similar to the old 1250 RS, which I've ridden a few times as well. The difference is the suspension. And I'm going to talk a bit more about that suspension, because I've got this in dynamic mode at the moment, so it's reasonably firm, but it still feels quite plush. Now let's have a little spin around this roundabout and just watch the bike track. So off the throttle, see how the front's gone down. Lovely. I can have a look in there, just balance it, and drive up through the roundabout. Lovely. Off the gas again. See how stable it is. It's lovely and still. Push on the bars, the bike tips in nicely. Same again coming off the roundabout, just lovely on the side. Drop that throttle, bike tips over, balance it, drive out to the side. You see the engine on this working with the suspension, really dominant factor, and it feels really light compared to my XR. It feels light. It feels physically a lot smaller. Well, I mean, it is physically a lot smaller. It's lower to the ground and so on. Interestingly enough, the levers are quite short. It's got a sporty pack on it, and the levers are quite short. I can only get, if you look at the clutch lever, I can only get my first three fingers on it, because it's very short. Same with the front brake, although not so much important with the front brake, because I only really use 2 fingers anyway, perhaps 3 at the most. But certainly that's quite short. The foot pegs are quite tight in. I've got these little dinky Dainese sneaker style boots on, and they seem to be pushing my ankle out a little bit. On the right hand side, if I put my balls of my feet on the foot pegs, which I normally do when I'm riding, my heel is touching the bottom of the rear footrest hanger on the right hand side. Well, both sides if I go far enough back, but more so on the right. That might just be the way the thing's built. But anyway, just try that thing again. Look, as we roll into the roundabout, if I've got a second gear engaged, drop that second gear. See how nicely that just tucks in there. Lovely. Really nicely balanced. Performance wise, yeah, it's plenty fast enough. And it's got that lovely meaty mid-range, so you can just drive on quite nicely. No need to rev the nuts off it. It's not designed for that. I do take on board what a lot of people have said about this new generation boxer engine, how noisy it is. It is a bit clattery at low speed, but it's got a lovely sort of punch to it. Low revs, I mean, like 3,000 RPM, just sort of a squeeze. In dynamic mode in particular, the throttle response is really crisp. Interestingly enough, you change I'm changing the dynamic mode on the handlebars, the suspension, I can change it on this, which I think is it's quite nice actually, being able to change it on the move as well. Whether you should be able to do that, I don't know, but this one's certainly doing that. So classic, want to change modes, very, very simple. tap it to open it, tap it to go to Pro, leave it shut, drops into Pro. So if I go that one, open it up again, open it up, go to rain, road, throttle closed, there you go, sat in road mode. Nice. Now what that's just, I can almost feel it straight away. It softened that initial throttle response. So it, unlike some bikes where you can't really tell that much difference, to be fair, this does actually, the mode switch does give you a little bit softer throttle control, and I guess it alters things like traction control and ABS settings and all that sort of stuff. Suspension, not sure if it alters suspension on that, because this seems to alter suspension. Okay, mirrors are great. Yeah, like I said, feels very well balanced. It does, lifting it off the side stand feels quite heavy. I don't know why that is, because once you're moving, like all the boxer bikes, once you're rolling it doesn't feel heavy at all. Yeah, overall, to get used to this from my XR, this just feels a little bit harder work to ride fast. My XR, obviously silky smooth inline form, much smoother, perhaps a bit more upright, more adventure bike riding position, similar size wheels and tyres and all that sort of thing, probably very similar suspension apart from the fact it's got a shaft drive. The front suspension on this feels lovely, the rear suspension feels really good too. My XR can feel a bit harsh, to be fair, on the dynamic mode with it all set up quite firm. Yeah, dashboard's classic BMW, not going to go on about that. Everything works, everything reads really well. I quite like the whizzy wheels and all that sort of stuff. From a riding perspective, it feels very, very planted. The suspension is lovely and plush, like I said, but it doesn't wallow, it doesn't waft around a lot. It's very responsive in terms of throttle control, so what you do with the throttle will have a big effect on the way the suspension is behaving. So if you're in mid-corner and you chop the throttle, the front will drop, and it will turn in on you if you drop the throttle. If you balance nicely, get the weight evenly distributed, you'll be fine. You can use that to help you get around the corner. If you're going a bit if you're frightened of going a bit wide, you can actually just drop the throttle nicely. That's very nice for a Tesla driver. Thank you very much. Little wave, thank you. Just missed the van coming now. Don't you love a tractor out at midday on a main road? I'm not going to complain though, because the farmers have got it tough at the moment. If I was going to sum up this bike, I would say it's more of an evolution on the 1250 rather than a revolution. Two things that stand out for me: this one looks way better. It doesn't look like you're driving your dad's bike when you turn up at a do or something. It looks really sporty, it looks pretty cool, and it goes well. Yeah, it goes nicely. Anyway, so it looks cool, and the suspension I think is better. It's got a lovely, it's a bit of a glide, but it's a firm, positive glide. It rides really, I think it rides really nicely. Apologies for any comms problems or if you can't hear me very well, but this is a bit of a rush job. I wasn't going to be doing anything like this. I was just going to get my bike serviced and go home again. I didn't know I was going to be having a go on this. But I don't know what the standard tyres are, but they seem absolutely fine, even at a good lean. I've only got over about 35, 37 degrees, which you can see on the machine on a few roundabouts, but it feels quite steady. High speed on a motorway, I went around a roundabout, a motorway roundabout, 60 odd mile an hour, and yeah, and it felt lovely. Once it's online and you've got that throttle balance, the bike just sailed around there, no problem at all. And like I said earlier, off the throttle it steers beautifully, very little input on the bars. I mean, I don't know whether you're a pusher for your counter steer or you're a puller. It doesn't really make much difference. It seems to respond with either way very, very well. Counter steering on this bike works. Because of the stability, it does take a little bit of a shove to get it to do stuff. Don't listen to all that rubbish about weighting the pegs and all that sort of stuff. It's just nonsense. You can make the bike change direction, but you couldn't go round a roundabout, could you? Right, nice little traffic jam ahead of us. You got a good view, we're not too low. What is nice is the filtering was good in town, that seemed to be okay. Because it's quite narrow and the mirrors are really reasonably high, they sort of go above the car mirrors. So that was good. What else? I quite like having a low screen. Lifting the screen can be a bit of a faff at high speed on the motorway. I tried to do it earlier and I couldn't quite lift it properly. And I think when it's up like that, it doesn't feel that much. It doesn't actually feel that much different, to be honest. But I know on the road-going versions, I've seen them in the shop. They've got a slightly bigger screen, so I reckon that would be. Even if I was to buy this bike and buy this one, the sports thing, the M Sport version, I would probably plump for a bigger screen. I know it sounds a bit oldie-dodie, but it's you know, at the end of the day, if you're going to be on a motorway for a couple of hours at 70 odd plus miles an hour, you want a bit of weather protection, don't you? So I think at the moment it's got the best of both worlds for me. It's got that naked sort of appeal to it, that naked bike, slightly sporty, slightly clip-on bar setup. It's very comfortable. Leg-wise, I do feel a little bit cramped in the legs. And I'm not very tall. I'm 6 foot tall, got short legs, fat body. But so if you were over 6 foot with long legs, I think you might find it a bit cramped. This one's actually got the adjustable rear set things on them, and they're as far back and low down as they'll go. So I don't know how that would work with someone who's got longer legs. But no, overall, nice package. If I had to sum it up, I'd say, yeah, if you've got the old 1250, I think apart from the way it looks, I'm not sure you're getting a massive leap forward. But if you haven't got the 1250 and you're going to buy this bike, then buy the new one, because it is better than the old one, but only in very small ways. The old 1250's got a lovely engine, it drives well, it handles well, it steers well. So, you know, apart from the fact that it looks a bit dated, the old 1250 does look a bit old-fashioned. As a bike to ride, it's not that far behind this, I don't think. Yeah, this has got a little bit more power, it's got a little bit more torque, but really, apart from the fact that it looks, this one looks, if you stood the two side by side, this is the best looking bike. I said to Matt in his shop, this is probably the best looking bike you've got on the forecourt at the minute, because it does look nice in this red, white and blue colour scheme. But yeah, if you fancy one, go and have a go. If you've got a 1250 already, a 1250 RS, yeah, send us a message, let me know what you think about if you've ridden this as well, see what the difference is. I don't think there's that much difference between this and the old one to ride, apart from that a little bit more performance, and I think the suspension on the new one's better. But like that, look, down to very low revs in second gear, but coming past this, that lovely punch, that nice, you know, I mean, it's just brilliant. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to go for a bit of a tear up, I mean, I've got top gear engaged, it's I'm in what, 3,000 RPM. If I go, it just absolutely romps away. It romps away like a good one. It's yeah, it's really cool. Anyway, I digress. Go and try it, see what you think. I like it. If you're into travel and a bit of sportiness when you get to where you're going, then yeah, this would be ideal. Think about going, I mean, if you're running down the south of France or something, once you've got into the Alps, this would be an absolute weapon. That lovely low down grunt for driving out the hairpin corners, lovely and stable on the brakes into the corners, very, very flickable, very, very nice to chuck from side to side. You can see why, when this was designed and the way it's been laid out, you know, geometry wise, it's been designed for a purpose, and it does do that job, it does it very well. That's very nice you to let me through, mate, but yeah. Thanks, buddy. Don't kill you, don't crash trying to get out of my way. There you go. Summing up done. Let's take some pictures now. I don't want to go by the junction. Is he turning? No. Okay. Oh, lad, he's having a One day, son, one day, get your test passed, mate, get a new one. Nice. He's actually doing the right thing by leading, stay in the middle, because this car's not going to hassle him to get by. But I'm going to just slide by now, mate. Yep, he's doing the right thing, taking his time, not too daft. Thank you very much. They do say, don't they, dominate your lane so you don't get the cars bothering you. I must admit, once you're on a straight bit, let them by, but yeah, in the corners don't. Okay, so a little roundabout to flick it bar up, there you go. Drop it into third, your third gear nicely. Whoosh. Whoosh. It is very smooth, suspension's lovely, holds the line very, very well, I think. Yeah, and it's very responsive on the throttle. Like I don't get going on about it, but it's one of the things that I think is one of the most important things about the bike, how you use the throttle. And you can affect a lot of the bike's attitude, balance, performance, handling by using the throttle well. You can make it very, very good. Or you can make it much better. You can make a bike much better just by giving that throttle control some thought and practice. Be in the right gear. Make sure you've got a little bit of drive and a little bit of deceleration at the same time. So you've got a bit of drive, and if you close the throttle, it'll slow down. Very nice too. Okay, cool. Well, I might do some more videos coming up and see how we get on. Never know. Summer's coming. I've got some time on my hands. And there's a lot of new bikes out at the moment now, whereas over the last couple of years there's been the same old stuff. And to be fair, I'm not going to bother testing bikes that I've got no interest in just for the sake of it. Can't see the sense in that, to be fair. Well, this one I just got on it because I thought, well, I've liked the look of it since I saw the first pictures, the first sort of AI stuff that BM put out. I just thought, yeah, what a nice looking thing, and it is. I think it's a lovely looking bike. I've seen other colours in the shop already. Some are blue. There's a blue one. There's a nice grey. The grey looks quite nice in the flesh. Very deep. Well, looks quite a nice deep quality paint finish. Blue's nice and bright, but weirdly it looks smaller. I don't know why, it just does. In black, now you can keep your black. Sorry guys that have got triple black BMWs. I can't think of anything more boring than a black bike with black fittings and black everything else. It just looks dull. That's just my opinion. Other colours are available. Okay, so that's my little ranty bit over. I'm back at the shop very shortly, so I'm going to have to hand it back. And I've got my XR back, hopefully, with a few little bits tweaked and fiddled with, so that should be nice. I might even do a video on that. I mean, I've done almost 30,000 miles on that from new, just me on it. Yeah, it's a cracking bit of kit, and very much in the same sort of mode as this, really. Sporty road riding, comfortable, ride it all day. Yeah, nice. They do a very similar job, and I think you know, this might tempt a few XR riders. I don't know, might do. It might not, but it might. There's still that thing, isn't there, between the inline 4 sports bikey guys and the sports touring guys. Even though in the real world this is probably just as fast on the road as a ZX10 or even a S1000RR or all that stuff, if you ride it in a grown-up way. I mean, if you ride like an absolute lunatic, then yeah, you're going to get a bit more whiz out of the proper sports bikes. But if you're going from A to B, this will be just as quick and more comfortable and use less fuel and save money on tyres. And you can carry panniers and a passenger much more easily on this than you can on a double R. And let's face it, a double R's a bit like a really good night out in Soho. It's great for a couple of hours, but you wouldn't want to do it every single day. So let's have a little squeeze there, look. Nice little whoosh. just plant that, make sure I can get clear of the junction. There you go. Now, really smart, like it. Like I said, downsides, the gearbox is a bit clunky, funny engine noise, not too keen on the engine noise. That screen's a pain to move up and down when you're travelling at speed. But the engine, oh, the engine's a romper. It's a goodie. Yeah, it's a goodie. No, it goes well. Anyway, see you later. Comments below if you want to have a chat. I don't mind answering questions. But yeah, put some comments down there. Give us a click and a like, and I'm going to do a few more. Perhaps we'll see. Now that I've got a taste for it, got my batteries going again. That's if it's not batteries not run out on this one already. Probably as I'm probably talking to myself.